Hi. Today I'm going to show you how we decorate our cabin for Halloween. We have a very interesting cabin. We are in Louisiana, and our look is a little different than some of the looks you might have been used to seeing. We decorate in all different kinds of styles. My husband and I are very into vintage and a little witch garden, a little pirate, some modern. My kids like modern. Overall, it's an eclectic mix. I think a lot of us are kind of all over the place in the things and the styles that we like, and we certainly are. So this hopefully gives you a little inspiration on how to decorate for the spooky season, whatever your style is. So come along, I'm going to show you how it all looks. First of all, it's super hot here. It's finally starting to cool down a little bit. I've got my favorite Lydia Dietz hat on, keep me sheltered from the sun. You know us schools like to stay as pale as possible, especially the older we get. But I'm going to give you a little tour of our house, and we're going to start in the entryway first. And I want to show you this amazing wreath that I got from Grandin Road last year. It is pretty simple. It's made from blue eryngium, artificial blue eryngium, and I love it. Let's take a look. So you can see it is just one kind of flower, and that flower is called eryngium. And I was a florist for many years, and it is probably one of my favorite filler flowers to use. It looks like thistle. As a matter of fact, a lot of people call it thistle. I just hung that on our door with a little bat hanger. I think I got that at Tuesday Morning a few years ago. In the center, I've added some really beautiful keys that Grandin Road also had in their catalog last year. This is a skeleton key, a really oversized large one, so don't worry, no one's going to be able to get into our creepy cabin. There's a bone and a shoe, a witch's shoe. Love this. I just hung that here for the time being. I haven't done any other decorating outside yet. We focus on the inside first because it's so dang hot, and then on to that when the weather cools down just a hair. I love a good creaky door sound. So this is the entryway, and let's get inside. Hi, fella. So this piece I got this year at Home Goods, and I love him. He is made out of metal. He's painted in a gray and gold. I love mixing metals, so silver, gray, gold always works for us. I love the combination of mixed metals. He was a little more expensive. I don't normally spend quite so much on a Halloween decoration unless it's a really large yard piece, but I found that he was well worth it. He's made out of metal, or she. We don't know really what gender our spirit here is, but it's a jack-o'-lantern with a witch's hat and a spooky robe and a cool broom, and he's a greeter. A greeter is usually a figure that you'd have at your front door or in your kitchen, and you can put candy or whatever you like to serve treats to all your little tricksters. This black candle set, I've got two of these. Those are also from Grandin Road, and that was in their Halloween last year. And honestly, I've used them year round. We decorate with a lot of black, so they work for us. This beautiful lit pumpkin is a black ombre. That was also from Grandin Road. And then I just have one of my pretty witchy scarves to decorate the little table. Grandin Road has some wonderful things, but some of their items are overpriced, and you can find dupes in the wild almost everywhere. As a matter of fact, I'll show you a few things that you can definitely find out when you're out shopping at the other home decor stores. This is an old painting. It's actually not really even a real painting, it's print, and I just touched up the frame and gave it a vintage vibe. It's actually plastic. It's probably from the 60s. I just like those colors. I like sort of dead, dried floral colors, and it's looks like a little French outdoor scene. Here I've got a couple of different things going on to kind of decorate the entryway. First off, I'll show you these glass bottle holders a young lady did for me years ago when I owned a flower shop in Long Beach, California. And she handmade these, and I think they look great as little witch's potion bottles. And there's a votive holder, so you can put a candle in if you like. We've got a key theme going. That means welcome to our house. Here's the key to our door. This is a keychain that I gave my husband years ago. Well, it's really cool. It's from the Hotel Del. The Hotel Del is in Coronado, California, and this was one of the room keychain holders. And apparently the Hotel Del is quite haunted, so you'll have to look that up. We also have a key that is a souvenir key that my husband and I first went to. The first movie we went and saw was Crimson Peak. And these were some little souvenir keys that they gave us. Plus we have just a whole bunch of antique keys. Those were my husband's, and he likes to use those for decor. This is an antique wrought iron holder. I honestly could not tell you what it was used for. I'll have to look that up at some point. And then I've got some silk flowers that I picked up at Michael's. And I did a nice Sahara rose, sort of a dead dried flower brown color, and some grays with some little burgundy touches. And these are supposed to be succulents painted black. That's from Michael's too. You can certainly paint your own flowers if you like. That is an easy DIY. On the back of the door, I have a creepy cloth that I got from Spirit Halloween. And this year, I went ahead and bought this one. It was already cut. It's just a gauze fabric. I like the cut because I did something similar outside, and I'll show you guys that later. But it was nice to get that because cutting that gauze sometimes in strips is a little bit of a pain in the well, you know what. Over here, I have a set of 3 fake witches brooms. Those are just decor items, you know, got to fool the neighbors. And then a artificial pumpkin. And this is a black cat silhouette. Let's talk about this guy. So last year I got this one from Grandin Road and I loved it, but it was a little expensive. So this year I decided to cheap out and try a set from Oriental Trading Company. And let me tell you, you get what you pay for. So this one, nowhere near the detail. The finish is very shiny, matte, shiny black. And then the pair came with this guy who's just freakishly cartoonish looking. I will probably put that up in a high window so the proportion looks better. I just feel the proportion of it is a little strange. But again, for the price of the 2 of them, both were less than the one from Grandin Road. And this is beginning to sound like a Grandin Road advertisement, but I promise you it's not. This is a green man that I got from them as well last year. I had that all year outside on the front patio, and it held up really well. It is resin. Generally, with resin pieces, I'm super picky. They have to look nice. I realize it's a good, lightweight, inexpensive material, but sometimes the resin pieces can look a little cheap. This I like a lot. The only thing I wasn't crazy about was its eyes. They are basically a piece of printed paper behind plastic, but I'm very crafty, so I will probably redo that at some point. All right, over here I've got our witch's dress form holding my beautiful black cape. It's a velvet cape, and a very beautiful witch's hat. That hat I purchased from a vendor at the Scots Fest this year, and it was so pretty. She crocheted this, and it's all crocheted and wired, and it's quite extravagant. I love it. She had decorated it herself, but I went ahead and took it a step further and added my own decorations to it. I really am wanting, this hat was so big and grand, it kind of needed that bigger, more grand floral. So I added my own my own ribbon, some more flowers and feathers. I reused some of the items she had on it, but I really just wanted to make it look extra special. It coordinates really well with my curtains here. I like privacy. The way that our cabin is set up, when you walk in, you go right to the kitchen, and I don't like that. So I wanted to cover the entryway there, and I've hung some very pretty old vintage curtains. And then up here, I have done a floral treatment. It's a swag, and this is vintage fall leaves, and I really like the subdued colors. There's a little bat hanging up there, and just added some hydrangeas. And then Michael's had some spooky florals this year, so I've got this very pretty black green amaranthus, and then this is really nicely done. It is supposed to be Spanish moss, and they did a really nice job. I think it's looks fantastic. It's black and it has super fine glitter on it. If you don't like glitter, look away, but we like a bit of sparkle around here. As I said, I love dried florals, and this is a wreath that I made on an oval mirror that I found at Goodwill, and I just completely covered it with dried hydrangeas that I grew in my garden, and that's also dried laurel leaves and some dried eucalyptus. This is a mortuary basket or a funeral basket. I have a collection of those, and I usually do some silk flowers around Halloween in them. They're a lot of fun. This is going to go on the front door. You guys have you seen that?
What are you doing? Turn around and walk away.
I don't normally go for the animatronic stuff, but my kids like it. So does my husband. This is Mr. Macabone, named after my husband. Let's start over here with some of the cool vintage pieces we have. So that's a witch wax candle, and a few more of our Halloween cards. I've kind of got them everywhere. Every year I display them a little differently, and these are quite valuable. They're hard to find now. I have these old florist flower frogs, and I just very gently will push them in there to hold them in place. I want people to enjoy them and see them, and it's much better to have them out once a year for a couple of months instead of hiding away in the attic. So over here, these are all noisemakers, and a story to tell you about these. When I bought these from someone on eBay. Oh, that's fun. That's probably a gourd with either its seeds or a bean inside of it. When I got them, they all looked like blackface. I hate to say it. And so I repainted them to look like cats, because I already had a vintage cat noisemaker, and in that set, this one came, and it was actually a cat. It's got a little glitter on it. This one doesn't make any noise. The original ones are quite hard to find and expensive. This one's from Germany, and that is paper. This poor little ear has gotten smushed in, and I can't get that out without damaging it. But these run around $100, I think, or more if you find them online. And then the other ones you can get fairly reasonably. A lot of people doing nice reproduction stuff, so not hard to find. I have a few Annalee dolls and a few vintage books on our non-working piano. We inherited this piano when we moved into the cabin, and honestly it was brown, and with so much brown I thought, I'm going to paint it. So I did a vintage Mackenzie Childs feel to it. I was never really big into Mackenzie Childs, but I do like the whimsy of their designs. And actually I've got this covered right now because it's very springy looking, and I'm going for my dark Halloween mode right now. Hey dude, what are we gonna play today? These are really cute cats. I got those at Michael's this year. I love the droll expressions on their faces. So awesome, excuse me. And then I've got wonderful old Halloween books from the 60s and 70s. It's a collection. I always pick them up if I see them. And another little Annalie doll. Just some fun things. That pans around into the entryway. And then over here, I, like everybody else right now, is just obsessed with Halloween pillows. I can't seem to get enough. My husband says, no more pillows. And I'm like, go to your room, let me buy what I want. It makes me happy. All right, this is a really cute vintage style 1930s, and it's from Target. I bought it online earlier in the season, and it's so cute, the prints on both sides. Up here are a couple of vintage prints of my husband's great-great-grandmother and great-great-grandfather. And then this is a old German clock that I inherited from German friends of mine that I used to work for years ago as a floral designer. More of my Halloween cards, more Annalie dolls. I bought Annalie dolls originally because they reminded me of my children. This reminds me of my son Kai when he was little. So you can find lots of really cool vintage pieces that are reproduction and mix those in with some of your older actual vintage pieces or antique pieces. For example, that's an antique candy container from the 1950s. And then this is a reproduction vintage piece. I think I got that from Tuesday Morning. The cats I sold at my store back in the day. That is from Seasons Gone By. I don't think they're in business anymore, but they did a lot of wonderful vintage reproduction Halloween candy containers and baskets. And I have a few of these. You can still find these online, and they are now becoming collectible because they were originally made, I want to say, in the 90s. So this one is from 1998. So coming into being its own antique now, or a vintage piece now. And another Annalie doll. They're cutesy, but I do like a little cutesy every once in a while. These are really cute placemats, and they glow in the dark. I don't know if I had the light on that one long enough for you to see. And a little guy's holding his little trick-or-treat bag. More Halloween decor. Really just love to mix it up from newer things to older things. This is a beautiful old reproduction Halloween cat. Had that for a few years. And that is probably from the 80s, and I repainted him because he had seen better days. I typically do that with Halloween props. If they look cheap or they're dirty, I will give them a makeover. This is just a fun little thing I made a few years ago. I had never really been into scrapbooking or anything like that, but Michael's had this whole set, and I just kind of put that together. It reminded me of all my paper. Halloween decorations. And another fun little postcard. The blow mold is also a classic Halloween decoration, and Target does some of the best ones as far as the quality. This is from Target. I don't remember if this one actually lights up. I don't know. What is that actually from Target? I lie, it's not. It was from Michael's. I also wanted to show you this super cute pumpkin pillow. Got that as well from Home Goods, and I believe it's a dupe for the Pottery Barn pillow. I've seen a lot of people mention that online. I have a classic set of ghosts that came from Kirkland's. They've had these for a few years. They so remind me of Charlie Brown Halloween Special when they're all walking around in their cut up eye sheets. And the eyes are so out of proportion, and they're so funny to me. They do light up, but it's a red light inside, so I don't usually light them up. I might switch those out later with a regular votive. They are so funny. I think I'm going to draw eyes on one of them just because of the Charlie Brown nostalgia. Well, I said I collected black cats, but here is Quinn, the most unblack cat on the planet. He is photobombing me right now. Hey, Quinn, how's it going? Hi, how's it going? Yeah, you're just the cutest. He knows he's so cute. Anyway, another really cool, cute vintage pillow. This one again is from Target. They had a few cool vintage ones that had a more 30s feel to them, and I really like that. This is an old antique chair. And again, I use these cobweb placemats in a few places just to add a little extra when you need a little extra. Little Halloween touches. This is a really cute old style radio.
Witches flying in the pale moonlight, skeletons dancing, quite frightful. Ghouls and goblins stalk the night on All Hallows Eve.
It moves around. It does some funny little things. Got that at Big Lots. So here's a case of where you can find something that's comparable to Grandin Road out in the wild. This is, if you can see, it's quite dark over here. This is a black bat that is from Grandin Road. It's got kind of a soft flock finish on it. And sure enough, I bought those and then ended up finding these at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, last year. And of course, they're literally the same thing, just with a different finish on it. 6 of these on Grandin Road was over $30. And of course, these guys were only $1, $1.25 at Dollar Tree. And I ended up painting some of them that I bought. These are hanging out on the staircase right now. I'm going to hang them up later. So I tend to, with decor, I will do several different waves when I'm decorating. I will first, bring it all in, unbox it, and then get my sort of bearings on where I want everything, and I'll do a first run, and I'll place everything where I think it's going to go. And then later I will remove and change and just freshen it up however I like. This is a gorgeous Victorian lampshade. It's a reproduction, and it is from Victorian Trading Company, and I really love it. It's got a very beautiful embroidered, machine embroidered, it looks like, neoclassical flower urn, the classic fringe. It's a very pretty, also lit or not lit, and love this. I bought 2 of these, one to use here and one to use at our little witchy cottage we have as well. This is just more of our antiques and quirky things that we find. So I found these very beautiful, sparkly, cone-shaped Halloween lantern looking guys. He's got a little pumpkin face right there. Got those at Home Goods, thought they were so pretty. They kind of work more in our formal area, little glittery, little sparkly. We like a little sparkle. This is a bust of a sea maiden. As you can see, she's got barnacles all over her. We have a pirate theme upstairs, so that kind of coincides with our pirate theme. There's a siren mermaid on a candle right there. These, I think y'all are sleeping on these glass jack-o'-lanterns. I've hardly seen anybody mention them. They're glass pumpkins. This one's very beautiful. It's blue. The lights, for some reason, stopped working in this one, but it looks like this when it's lit up. Now, remember the one that I had bought from Grandin Road, I got on sale, and it's a larger one, and I think I paid $38 for it on sale. These all ran in the $14 to $20 range. And they have made a lot of difference in my cabin because it's so dark in here that at night they add nice little pops of light where I need them. I don't sew. I am a DIYer when it comes to fabric. I did a lot of weddings back in the day, and I am a master with fabric, so I can put it together without it being sewn together. It's either glued with hot glue or pins or safety pins or whatever. But I like changing things up quickly and simply, so that's what I do. Here's Skelly. Hi, Skelly. So I'm Shelly, and this is Skelly. And you most definitely can paint my bones gold when I'm dead. Doesn't she look fantastic? We need to give her a wig. This gold skeleton, I believe, came from Target, and I bought this. It's a dupe for Grandin Road's gold skeletons, which are about $100 each, and this one from Target was $40. Works just great, gave me the effect I need, and you know, I knew when it came, if I needed to make it a little bit better, I could also antique it and give it a little bit more luster, but it looked actually great. She's wearing her beret. And some of our oddities. Oh, you know what? I don't have my candles lit. Be right back. Thanks, hon. Got these last year on clearance at Home Goods, yeah. And I didn't realize, I thought I was going to use them for votives, they're beverage glasses, but I did not realize how many times I was going to use these glasses. My daughter actually wants them when she's old enough to move out. They're fantastic. So I'm going to edit this video into 2 parts because nobody wants to sit and watch an hour-long video of someone they barely know, right? So because this video is looking like it's going to be a million years long, I'm going to edit it into 2 parts. So we'll have a part 1 that I'm going to upload now, the one you're watching, and a part 2. I hope you enjoy. I just thought it might be a little bit easier since you don't really know me yet and you may not want to commit to a whole hour-long video, just so you have a little bit of a teaser and some time to take a look at what we're doing here. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and see you soon.